So today I'm making a video to show you the progression of how Goldendoodles grow and how they change. This is Boujee's mother, full-grown mother. This is Boujee's dad. He's a standard male poodle, and Boujee's mom is a Goldendoodle. They together made an F1B beautiful litter of Goldendoodle puppies. So Boujee and Paris are litter mates. There they are mixed up in the bunch of those. I didn't check their collars to see which one was which in this picture. But trust me when I say Boujee and Paris are in that mix. That's all their litter. They came from Clarksville, Tennessee, from a military family that had one house dog, and their neighbor friend had a standard poodle. I've got their names somewhere, but I forget where. This is Tiny Boujee. This is when she started to grow up. I don't know how old she was, maybe a week old, maybe two, because her eyes are open. But look how pudgy and cute. And look at the hair. It's straight like a golden retriever. There's no wave that I can see on it at all. And this is why you cannot tell really 100% when a puppy is born what its hair and the texture is going to be. Actually, even what the color will be. Because poodles lighten, their hair color lightens their entire life. I did not know that until we bought these doodles. That's when I found that out. So there's Boujee when she's getting up a little older. That's still before, maybe before we met her. We went and met the puppies, of course, when they were not old enough to go home. But I think that they were probably 6 weeks or so old when we met them. And that's Boujee before we met her, I think. And her eyes, I tell you, is one thing I fell in love with. She's got like smoky type eyes. It's hard to explain now. They're great big and round. And her little nose is short in this picture, and she's kind of all blonde all over. But now she's changed. Now see, in this picture you can tell on her chest she's starting to get wave in her chest and in her front legs, but her face hair is straight. Her ears are just barely is wavy around the edges. You still can't tell what her hair texture is going to look like. But is that not a gorgeous little doodle? Now there's little Boujee growing up some more. And look at the waves are getting around on her legs and her sides and her chest. She's getting a little bit wavy and a little bit curly. Nose is still short. Her ears are starting to get wave to them. And her face and top of her head is still, you know, straight like a golden retriever. So again, when I make the one about Roxy, you're going to see Roxy's hair was just so funny looking. Part of it was straight, part of it was curly and just scraggly looking. She looked like a porcupine when she was little, but so you can't tell. She's a tight curl now. See, there's Boujee some more. There's the curl and waves starting to go down the sides on her ears. Her little eyes are getting that doodle eyebrow look. Look at those eyes. Her eyes are not sad looking, they're just intense. They're like deep looking. It's one of the things that made us fall in love with her, was her looks. And a side note, we could not decide which one to get. I actually had picked Paris, and by the time we got home, I couldn't decide who to get, whether it'd be Boujee or Paris. And it was such a hard decision, but you know, these dogs are expensive. So by the time we got home, my husband said, you know what, I think I'm going to call back and see if we can get that other puppy. And so we were able to get her. She was still available, so that's how we ended up with Boujee and Paris. Another side note, I don't recommend buying litter mates for the faint of heart, because these two wrestle continuously. They wrestle all the time. I see I put that sign over Boujee's name. That says December 28, Miss Boujee. That was the day we brought her home. That's the day I broke my leg, because the puppies jumped on the back of my leg when I was letting them play, and Roxy was banging around with them too, and they made me fall, and I broke 2 bones in my leg and my heel bone, and wow. But it was still interesting, and it's still worth it. Now there's Miss Boujee coming home. Now look how curly she is. She's got curl and wave, and her ears are so adorable. And as I recall, they both got car sick. They kept throwing up. I was sitting in the back seat with them. There's Paris with her little red legs, which are now silver. I think they're moving around a little because they got to throw up. But Paris has always been way wavier. than Boujee. I think she takes more after her daddy. Look at Boujee. There she is laying on our back deck. And I should have put these ages on here, but I couldn't precisely remember them. But that's not long after she came home. Look at her. Oh my goodness. She was starting to get that wave to her, and her hair, her forehead was all just getting thick and pretty. There's my foot. That may have been before. It may have been before I broke my leg. I don't know. There she is. There's that picture I had a while ago where I had the date covered up. There they are taking a nap. And there's Boujee in January. Look at her, how curly. There's February. There's February halfway through. No, she's 2.5 months there. And there she's about 3 months old. Look at that thick hair. There they are coming home from their first groom. Look how big they are. 5 months old. Now Boujee looks kind of straight there, but she's not straight in her hair. She'd been blow dried, and the groomer had blow dried her and trimmed her hair all up nice, and she was getting ready to come home. Now that's probably before they left. That's how they look. Every little bit when their hair starts growing out, it'll get really curly. Now there's Roxy. She's a F1B Goldendoodle. She's like 75% poodle, and I definitely think she's hypoallergenic, but she's spayed, and she won't ever have any puppies. These two wrestle like this all the time. Look how big they're getting. I don't know, by the time they've grown until they're 2 years old, I don't know how big they're going to be, but I love a big Goldendoodle. I like big dogs. I think they're easier to train, but they're not rough with each other. They play like that all the time until they're exhausted, then they'll fall down, and they'll get up and rest and play some more. But look at that hair, how she's changed. That's a very recent picture, which she's getting close to 6 months old now. There's mud on her forehead, out in the yard wrestling with her sister. Hot, sweaty around her mouth, been drinking a lot of water. That shoe is her shoe to chew on, by the way. But I just thought it'd be fun to let you guys see how they grow and how their hair changes. Their body shape will change, their nose will be short, or maybe it'll be long. I mean, Boujee's nose was kind of short, when she was younger, but then now she's starting to grow into it. And there's Paris. Paris is bigger than Boujee and curlier than Boujee so far. But she's getting silver all through her hair, and I'm telling you that I could not be more thrilled with how pretty these two features are turning out. Paris is taken more after the poodle in her face so far. So you can't really tell what they're going to look like, because they continue to change and evolve. I remember Roxy didn't have a whole lot of curly hair on her face, and now she's nothing but tight curls on her face. So I hope you enjoyed watching this evolvement of Boujee, how she started out just a little bitty straight-haired little Goldendoodle, and now she's growing up into a big, pretty, soft, curly-haired grown doodle, and someday she'll be a mom and she'll have puppies as beautiful as her, if not more beautiful. So please like, share, and subscribe to my video if you would. It'll help my algorithm, help my views come up. And stay tuned for videos later on Roxy and Paris. I'm going to show how each kind of doodle, how their hair changes, and they're all the same kind of doodle, but their hair has changed from curly to straight to scraggly, what I call scraggly, which is what Roxy was. And you can see the difference in it in case you're curious about what they do look like when they're babies and when they're grown. Have a blessed day, and stay tuned till the next video comes out.